Hey guys, my name is Phikelelo Moyo, nickname PK, but pretty much I'm gonna just do a quick recap of my track and field season this year. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but I think, at the end of the season, wrapping things up, we ended off on an all-time high. So yeah, let's get into it. But before I do that, let me just preface by saying that I am a sprinter and I do the 60, 100, 200, the occasional 4. But my favorite's gotta be the 60 and the 100 easily. I just love those distances. And another thing about me is I'm on the Arctics team for the CTFL that I got recruited to, and that's also been a really cool opportunity to kind of be able to go to those meets and compete for them too. Just in general with the season, kind of my main goals were, since I'm still a U20, I wanted to make the national team and then go to provincials, go to nationals, and then also, hit some PRs. So yeah, I'll kind of break down how that whole thing happened. So I want to say I maybe started the season in May, and that's kind of when I had my first meet in Windsor. So I think that was either beginning or mid-May, I don't remember, but I just remember that meet went horrible. I did the 1 and 2 there, my times are not it, my placements as well weren't it. So I was kind of discouraged from that meet because I had just came out of indoor season and I had a great indoor season. I was feeling strong. I had a huge PR in my 60. I ran 688, so I was feeling really good. So it was kind of like a bummer to come into my outdoor season with this kind of time. But it was a kind of a learning experience. Because it's their first meet, and it's a different distance, so I kind of had to get used to things. So I think that's when I kind of was like, okay, it's just the beginning, so don't make it a big deal. And then had a better meet at the end of May. I think that was the London meet. Yeah. So in London was kind of where I started finding more consistency in my runs. So I think I had my first meet in Windsor, and I don't think I competed until that London meet, which was on the May 23rd, I believe. And so I ran there, and I think I clocked an 11:0, and for my Windsor meet I ran 11:2. So I was feeling better about my ones. I don't think I ran a 2 there, but that was also my first meet kind of representing CTFL. Love the jersey, by the way. The black is a good look. It's a clean look. But yeah, so I'll put in that clip right now.
Muhammad Khalid went through the quickest start, and it's a battle between him and Jacob Granger in lane 2, maybe on the outside lane 8. Zach.
So in that race, I was in lane 7, and with my PR last year being 10:98, it's a pretty respectable time, being that I was in 11:0, right there. And there's a few things I didn't execute right in that race, being my start. And I pride myself in being a good starter, and so kind of in that clip there, my reaction time wasn't there. Everybody else left before I reacted, and then frequency wasn't there, slow steps. And so that was kind of when I talked to my coach and we're like, hey, we got to work on this more, because I wasn't up to how I usually ran. And kind of, between May leading into June, I was battling some shin issues. So I had to get, some therapy, a lot of physio, needle therapy. And I kind of also had a few twilights in between then, leading up to my next race in Windsor again, which would have been at the end of June. But as far as the national team is concerned, I think that deadline was sometime end or beginning of June. And so it was kind of that London meet, and then I had another twilight meet a week later, where that would have been my last shot to kind of make the team. And so yeah, I had ran at that twilight, and it was at York, and so kind of like I had to run like a 10 lows, I think like a 10.5, 10.6, which has been really hard to do being in like 11 flat shape. So I went to this twilight meet, gave it my all. Unfortunately, I had only ran like a 10.9.5, which was an illegal PB for me. So, I was happy about the PB, but not really happy about the time because, it didn't kind of put me in that position to get kind of, recruited for the national team. But, I take everything as a learning experience. So, if it wasn't my time now, definitely going to be in the future, So it's kind of those little things I had to learn there. So, I kind of just put that off and then kind of used, because I was angry, I was sad, I kind of used that for my future meets. And I started to see like improvements in my times and my performances. So we'll definitely get into that with my June meet.
Heat 3, men's 100.
Now this meet here was such a big deal for me just because it kind of changed my whole mindset for the season. That being, first of all, I came out really nice out of the blocks. I was stepping for real, left everybody in the blocks, and it just, everything came together. It was clean. I had a solid race, and that was kind of like my first time having an official, sub 11 time. And, I ended up running at 10.94 at that meet. And so I was feeling really good. And it was kind of like, because my 10.98, it wasn't actually at an official meet, so it didn't count, because it was it was one of the qualifying meets for when I eventually went to OFSA. But after battling shin issues as well, and that kind of stopping me from even completing some of my workouts, I thought I was in a really good position physically and mentally to kind of like run even faster. And so now my focus was on provincials and then later on nationals. Now if my memory serves me right, I believe the provincials was the weekend with the 13th 14th of July. And so preparing for that, I happened to get sick like the week prior. I got like a little cold, that was a bit of unfortunate, but I still felt like my strength was there. So I just wanted to kind of go and give it my all at the provincials as well. So I got through the rounds. I was in the finals, and then I put my race together, and I came out with a 10.85 in the finals. And big shock on my face when I saw the clock, and that kind of put me fourth, I think, in the finals. And that was kind of this was my last year as a U20, so I was really hoping to medal. But I believe everything happens for a reason. So even though I didn't medal, I was really happy with the time. And so now I was kind of ready to go to nationals. And that was the weekend I booked the ticket as well. But let me show you that race right now.
Set.
Let's go, John! Let's go, John! Very close up the line.
Now that was probably one of the most fun hundreds I've ever ran, like ever. And it was so close too. Like first, second were both like 10.7 highs, and then third place was like 83, and I ran at 85. So I want to say personally, I had the race, but I may have like lost it at the line, which sucks, but it is what it is. I was done that. The 200 was the next day, but my sickness got even worse, so I had to pull out of the 2. But now I was just kind of set on the nationals. So, and that would have been like 2-3 weeks later. So kind of flew out. And then Athletic Canada ended up adding another round the day I flew in for the U20 100. So I ended up not performing the best as I wanted to, but is what it is. had the 4x1 as well and the 4x4 to look forward to. So, you know, I was just preparing for those. 4x1, we finished, I think, 4th. And then we had a 4x4 U20 team and we ended up finishing 1st. So, you know, kind of cool ending the season being a national champion. And, you know, on top of that, being able to see, you know, world champs, Olympians running, you know, that's a really cool experience. And I ended up meeting up with Andre DeGrasse and Aaron Brown, got an autograph from him. And so, yeah, I think, you know, although, you know, the season was ups and downs, it ended off pretty good. So can't complain. And yeah, you know, just kind of preparing now for the next season, which will be my indoor season. And yeah, so I'll also include, you know, kind of the photos I got from nationals. And then I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog with us today. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this vlog once again, and hoping that you guys have a good one and take care.